She had a man but wanted me. So I beat her cheeks and sent her back to the streets. My girlfriend of 4 years decided that she'd rather date some army guy she'd known for only a month. She dropped me to the curb for him. After some time had passed, I decided I would try to get back out there again and just have some fun. I figured online dating would be a good option. For the most part, it went alright. A few replies here and there, I had a few conversations with some girls who provided some decent enough conversations, but nothing that really made me want to go and meet them. Then I matched with Jessica. She was really funny and laid back, we shared interests, and she had a gorgeous smile. I was really excited to meet her. Usually, I never know when it's the right moment to ask a girl out. I'm sure it's cost me relationships before, as they might think I dragged out the talking phase too long. But it wasn't like that with Jessica, so I just bit the bullet and said we should meet up for a drink. She was completely upfront and told me that she's had some bad experiences meeting guys online before, and offered to meet up in a group scenario. This was honestly my worst nightmare. As someone who is an introvert, meeting her face to face, let alone a whole group of her friends, was daunting enough. But I knew that I really liked what I'd learned about her, so I psyched myself into it and went along. We ended up going to a local pub to play trivia. There were 3 or 4 of her friends there, and they were actually pretty fun people. The night went well, and afterwards, she gave me a hug and a kiss on the cheek, telling me she really wants to meet up again, but one-on-one this time. I smiled and told her I'd call her and we can set it up. I called her the following night and suggested Saturday night for our date. She was a music teacher and was out of town that weekend with a music excursion. She apologized profusely but asked about doing a group date again. She told me that all of her friends really enjoyed having me around and that I should go to trivia again. I didn't really want to let the whole group dynamic become too regular, but I really liked her, and she seemed to be genuine, so I went along. That night, I get to the pub and Jessica waves me over to the table they were at. I go over and think, at least I can grab a seat next to her. I arrived at the table and there was a guy there that wasn't there the week before. He extends his hand and introduces himself as Kyle. I'm a bit annoyed but shrug it off. About half an hour into the trivia rounds I look over and Jessica has her hand on this guy's leg. I'm completely taken aback by this but don't jump to any conclusions. I thought to myself, maybe he's a friend she's known for a long time. Boy, was I wrong. The night goes on and it becomes very obvious that Kyle was her boyfriend. While I'm keeping cool on the surface, I'm fuming underneath. I dragged myself to a pub on a Tuesday night twice, to spend time with people I didn't know, and then she springs this on me. By this point, I have absolutely zero interest in still being there. I don't want to be rude though, so I stay until the end of trivia. I completely stop participating though. Trivia finishes and we're all hanging around outside, and they talk about going to a bar in the city for a few drinks. I politely said that I needed to get up early and went home. Over the next few days, Jessica kept sending me Facebook messages. She eventually realized that I was not interested in hanging out anymore, and one afternoon she called me asking what my deal was. I explained to her that she had a boyfriend. And she didn't understand why this was a problem. I explained to her that when I meet someone on a dating website, ideally it would be for dating purposes. She, somehow, didn't understand this concept and started ranting at me about how I'm a selfish jerk. I tried to explain that my actions were the opposite of selfish, but she was having none of it. She tells me that if I were to just put in a bit more effort, she would have slept with me regardless of her boyfriend. That was her biggest mistake. I used that information to form a devious plan. I decided that I was going to do whatever it took to sleep with her and expose her to Mr. Boyfriend. I went to 2 more trivia nights and could tell that the vibe between us had changed. So, I texted her and asked her to come see a movie with me. And she obliged. When we went to the movie, I tried my best to act like her boyfriend's situation didn't bother me and put on my A game. Afterward, we went back to my apartment and got freaky for the remainder of the night. Little did she know, I had a camera set up in my bedroom to record the whole thing. I kicked her out in the morning and told her that I had to get ready for work, then I sent the video to all of her friends on Facebook and blocked her number. Her close friends began bombarding me with texts, claiming that they were going to beat me up, but nothing ever came of it. Surprisingly, her boyfriend responded to me and said that he thought I was one of her gay friends. Apparently, she had done this before and cheated on him many times using this method. Her boyfriend kicked her out of the house and left her on the street. I haven't heard from any of them in years, but I know I did the right thing.